Every time I turn the camera on to start filming something, somebody catches a salmon. I know nothing about osmosis. Whew. I still have all that smoke in my eyes. And take a look at that fish candy. Booyah! Welcome back, everybody. We're ice fishing at 9,000 feet above sea level in Summit County, Colorado. We're after Kokanee salmon. The reservoir has almost 100% open water, and the daytime temps have been very mild. Thankfully, there's a little bit of ice on the Snake River Inlet, which just happens to be where the salmon are running. Kokanee are basically a landlocked sockeye salmon that were first introduced to the Dillon Reservoir area over 50 years ago. The females are filled with eggs that they're about to lay, so we're going to return the females to the water so they can continue their run. We're going to concentrate on the males, who are more colorful and have that famous salmon hook jaw. The males are also headed upstream to fertilize the eggs that the females drop. Both the females and the males will die shortly afterwards, so we're simply harvesting fish that will soon be decaying in the months to come. But we're doing our best to assure the population continues to thrive by allowing as many females to drop their eggs as possible. Plenty of males will make it by to fertilize the eggs anyway, and the fishery will continue to thrive for future years. Colorado daily limit is 10 salmon per person, and we're also able to catch rainbow trout, which also thrive in the mountain waters. The daily limit for rainbows is 4. We're using small pink and white rubber jigs, and we're tipping the hooks with tiny pieces of raw shrimp. We also experimented with mealworms, but we got more hits on the shrimp. The action was fast and furious. My kids caught so many fish, I could barely fish myself, and that was a-okay with me. We were having such a great time. Our stringers were sagging from pound after pound of Kokanee salmon. We had a pile of fish. My friend Stefan worked on the fish right there. He filleted them. He pulled the meat off the carcass. What a morning ice fishing here in Summit County. We killed them. Thanks to this guy, we all pretty much limited out. Stefan, myself, my kids who are in the truck. So now I got to get home. We're gonna get the fish cleaned up. We're gonna brine them overnight in the fridge. Fire up that Blackstone pellet smoker. Booyah! Gonna make a dry brine. So I have 4 cups of brown sugar, 4 parts of brown sugar, 1 cup of coarse kosher salt. Dry brine versus wet brine, you know, when the fish are submerged in soy sauce and stuff like that. Both have their benefits, and I am not an expert. This is only the second time I've ever done this. Did it about 13 years ago, way back in the day. So I wrote down some things that I read online reading about dry brining. It enhances flavor with the sugar and the salt. It improves texture so the fish doesn't fall apart as much when you're smoking it. It reduces the white substance, you know, that stuff that comes out of the salmon when you cook it. They call that albumin, and it reduces that so it looks a little more prettier. It allows for a crispier skin, and the salt actually draws out moisture using osmosis. I know nothing about osmosis. I've mentioned it in my videos before. I'm terrible with science. The end result is it allows the fish to retain moisture so they're nice and moist on the smoker. Gonna take the fillets and lay them in a glass Pyrex dish, like a lasagna dish, and we're gonna sprinkle both sides with the dry brine. Make sure we get as close to complete coverage as we can. And in just the few minutes that it took to sprinkle the brine on everything, you can see it's already starting to work on the first pan. You can see how rich and dark that is. Cover everything up. We actually have a cover that works for that one. And then we're gonna switch to plastic wrap. The rest of these, we'll use plastic wrap. Have fun with plastic wrap, my goodness. All these years, it seems hard to believe they haven't come out with a better way to dispense and cut plastic wrap. These will go into the refrigerator overnight. Come back tomorrow. I'm back the next morning. Let's check out our salmon that I had in the fridge. If you remember, it was completely dry. It was dry to the touch. And we put the mixture of brown sugar and coarse kosher salt over top of it, and you can see it did the trick. I mean, it completely drew the rest of the moisture out of the fish. Fish looks amazing. So we're gonna go cold water. Basically gonna rinse the remainder of the brine off the outside. It's gonna help to get some of that salt off of there. Just a quick rinse with cold water. These look so good. Gonna put these into a colander, into a strainer, and we'll give them one last rinse. Let them drip dry for a few minutes. Over to the countertop. Have some cookie sheets laid out here. I think I'll just put some paper towels down on top of them and underneath them, and we'll pull the fillets out, lay them down here on my paper towel lined cookie sheets. Take a paper towel, we'll pat those dry a little bit. I let them air dry on the cookie racks for a couple minutes. Then I lined a few cookie trays, and I'll put these in the fridge for 2 hours or so. Then we'll come back, fire up the smoker, and smoke the salmon. And now I'm outside. Been to a lot of locations on this video. Check it out. This is what it looks like after about 2.5 hours of drying, and I think it's perfect. Very sticky to the touch, which is what you want. They are not wet, they are sticky and dry. The Blackstone Bronco XL griddle and smoker combo. Gonna pull out 2 of the shelves, pick up the salmon, put it down on the shelves. When we were almost finished fishing, Stefan said you could think about these as little fish sticks, like pieces of salmon jerky, if you will. There's probably a little bit of salt left in the fish. I think I'll sprinkle a little bit of black pepper. I love black pepper, so just a little bit of black pepper, not too much, on top of the salmon. Back down to the pellet smoker, inside with the salmon. Everything looks really nice in here. Now to talk a little bit about pellet grills and smokers. Probably mentioned this a little bit last year when Blackstone came out with pellet grills. As a rule of thumb, pellet grills are not smokers, and smokers are not pellet grills. Pellet grills are essentially an outdoor oven that are powered, that are heated by wooden pellets that give some amount of wood flavor to your food. So like the Blackstone 900 pellet grill, or the style of any traditional pellet grill on the market, you're not gonna get a lot of smoke. You need to augment things with a smoke tube or use a traditional smoker. Having said that, when Blackstone came out with this model, they actually called it a pellet smoker. I've been using this thing for almost a year. We've done pulled pork, we've done ribs, salmon, just about the chicken in here. It infuses a ton of smoke, way more smoke than any pellet grill I've ever used, but we're still gonna kick it up another notch. I have a smoke tube that's filled with the same pellets that I have in my hopper. Take a little propane torch. We're gonna catch the pellets on fire. This will take you at least a good 45 seconds or a minute. Then we'll blow it out, tuck it back in. We have smoke that's going. Come over to the control panel, set the temperature. A lot of pellet grills, the lowest temperature you can do is 200 degrees. That's what we have here, so we're gonna have to set it at 200 degrees. We'll go ahead and prime this thing up. Read any cookbooks that talk about fish smoking, they say you wanna go really low temperatures. People build specific smokers to smoke things like fish because they recommend you start out the first hour or two really low, like 120 degrees, 140 degrees. We don't have that. We have 200 degrees, so that's why we're going with extra smoke. These are super thin. I don't anticipate this taking more than 1 to 2 hours, and we'll be back with our thin layers of smoked salmon or salmon jerky. It's been about an hour, I think an hour and 5 minutes, reminding you that these are very, very thin pieces of fish. Let's check them out, see what they look like. Most people smoke their salmon to at least 140 degrees. I read that you could smoke it to up to 160 degrees if you want it crispier. It's looking pretty amazing. So I don't know if we're quite done. I'm gonna grab the last of my Vermont maple syrup in the big gallon. Love the maple syrup. This is a good batch, nice and dark. I'm gonna try a little bit of maple syrup on top of the fish, and we'll put it back in the smoker for another 20 minutes or so. Then we'll see where we are at. Back in the smoker. Other smokers and pellet grills, when you open them up, the temperature plummets, including some of my old traditional box smokers that I love. The temperature plummets. Whew. I still have all that smoke in my eyes. But the Bronco, engineers did a great job, holds the temperature very well. That's a lot of smoke. Hey, if this isn't an advertisement for the for the Bronco pellet smoker, it does. Use a lot of pellet smokers, and I've never seen one produce this much smoke. It's a really good thing. It's been about 30 minutes since I put the maple glaze on there. Oh, look at that. See, that wasn't even a take a look at that. That was a look at that. We're gonna double check this real quick to see what it tastes like, but it looks pretty amazing. Let's pick a piece up, break it apart. I don't need to worry about using a temperature probe. This is so thin, so you wouldn't even be able to get a probe in there. But you could do this with trout, you can do it with salmon. Let's give it a try. The thin piece tasted excellent. The pieces that were a little bit thicker need a little more time in the smoker, so we're gonna shove those back in, close it up, maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Went and helped my daughter change the oil in her car. All total, I think it's been 2 hours. Oh my goodness. We might have perfection. Oh, that maple syrup did the trick. See, it's still smoking. Bronco XL griddle smoker combo. It does the trick. Looks really, really good. Nice and tacky. Break it apart, look at that. It flakes apart, and that's what you want, flakes apart. Going for a little nibble, a preliminary or a midterm, let's give it a try. Piece going to my wife behind the camera. These are looking really good. I mean, just come over here and check these out. My goodness, nice and mild. You know, I could have done garlic on this, maybe a little bit of garlic. I never thought about that. I love garlic. Garlic would have worked on this, salt and pepper. And take a look at that. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but the smoke in my eyes, totally impressed. And use that smoke tube and get extra smoke. One last look at this beautiful piece of smoked salmon. I'm crying partially because these turned out so perfect, but also because of all the smoke. The official, let's give it a try. Absolutely perfect. I'm giving another bite to my wife because she's been patient through the whole process. Turned out perfect in every way. I think next time I do it, I'll experiment a little bit. Definitely add a little bit of garlic, but they're outstanding. But I wanted to show you how exciting it is to go up into the Colorado mountains on a cold December day on the ice, get some salmon, bring them home and smoke them. Shout out to my friend Stefan, along with his wife, Allison. They're amazing and they're a blessing. They're great friends of ours. He is the fish master. And make sure you're watching all my friends on the Blackstone Network because we have all kinds of shows. Give me a thumbs up, comment down below as well. Until next time, this is Todd. Praise the Lord and pass the smoked salmon, the salmon jerky, the fish candy.